Today we're going to print these notebook covers using simply a wooden frame with a pair of basic hinges, transparencies, a piece of glass, and a few screen printing materials. Just before we get started on the build, I want to let you know that the notebooks are for sale on the Get Hands Dirty online shop, along with a bunch of brand new t-shirts, hoodies, and sweatshirts from small all the way to super big sizes. Also, they come with specially made tags. So if you want to support my work, just get one of these for yourself or for your friends that should probably be getting their hands dirty more often. Take a look at my website and let's get started with the build. So here I was building the wooden frame for the screen, and I used a simple method that allows you to create half-lap joints. The screen mesh has a high thread count, which means that I'll be able to get very fine details on my prints. I can staple it to the frame and do my best to highly stretch it. I utilized two super basic hinges to attach the screen to this plywood base. Make sure to raise the screen a few millimeters from your workpiece before screwing the hinges in, because you will need some spring action on the mesh when printing. Now I can quickly attach a lamp holder to a base and test the yellow lamp that is not working, so I will go with the red one. We are now going to work on a light-safe environment, which means that you must have whether a yellow or a red lamp, because those are the only ones that don't affect the photo emulsion that obviously is light sensitive. Just before going to the darkroom, which is a toilet, I need to cut the cheap squeegee to fit inside the frame. Okay, so now I'm just mixing the emulsion components and applying a thin even layer to the screen using the squeegee. There are more specific accessories to make this, but you can get away with the squeegee. I let it to dry completely in the dark and start preparing the transparencies that I got laser printed on a printing shop. Just because I was afraid that one layer wasn't enough, I ended up perfectly matching two transparencies so that the dark areas could be even darker. Everything is ready, and inside the plastic bag there's the screen that I've taken out of the darkroom, so now we can turn off the lights and place the transparencies and the thick glass over the screen to start exposing the photo emulsion. This is the UV light that I've got, and you might find that other bulbs also work. What really matters is that the bulb needs to have high levels of UVA. After 30 minutes, I could wash off the screen to remove the emulsion from the areas with the logo and test it out after taping the screen all around. Está horrendo. Okay, so it didn't really work, and I guess it was the crappy squeegee's fault. So I ran into a screen printing factory in a nearby city to beg for some useful indications of what might be wrong, and the guy was super awesome and gave me an old squeegee with a new rubber and a scrap of thinner screen mesh. Let's finally start printing the black hardcovers of the notebooks. After some attempts, I could finally start to get the hang of it and produce nice prints. It's super important to always fill the design area with ink in between prints to prevent a thin layer to dry over the surface and ruin your screen. I can now mask the areas that I don't want to print and start the back covers. Using a scrap cover as a template, I drilled all the holes for stitching. For the wood veneered notebooks, I got some thick white cardstock and cut a whole bunch of white oak veneer pieces to make sandwiches. I took my time trying to match the veneer as best as I could and found out that using a guillotine to cut the veneer edge actually produces a nearly perfect cut, so much better than cutting with an X-Acto knife. Now that all the covers are done, let's visit Massimo working space and see Carolina stitching the notebooks by hand. Alright, thanks everyone for watching and I hope you enjoyed this project. A big shout out to all my Patreon supporters that really help me to keep producing content on a regular basis. Take a moment to support my work and don't forget to subscribe to get notifications for future projects. Now go get your hands dirty.